Are you ready to join the mission of making our planet greener, cleaner, and brighter for generations to come? Hi, my name is Annelie Milan, and I am the founder of Sustainability for Kids and author of The World Behind Recycling. We are on a mission to empower kids to become sustainability champions. Our books and engaging activities are designed to spark curiosity and ignite a passion for sustainability. We also provide resources for parents and teachers to inspire sustainability practices at home and in the classroom. Connect with us on social media to stay updated on our latest adventures, tips, and resources. Welcome to my very first episode of Sustainability for Kids podcast. And today we are going to be talking about how to encourage kids to take actions at home towards a more sustainable life and practices. And we will be talking about the power of small steps. In a busy and complex world where everything moves so fast, we need people to care about the one and only one thing we all have in common: planet Earth. 20 years ago, sustainability sounded a bit out of the box, and brands, people were working towards a more sustainable options, and they were seen as very innovative and for sure disruptive. But maybe not all of us were ready for that concept back then. Progressively, sustainability became important and more brands were adopting sustainable practices. Until a couple of years ago, when a sudden change happened, and now everyone seems to be crazy about sustainability. It moved from nice to have to a must have in front of a consumer's eyes. So, why was that, and what happened? Well, probably the pandemic opened our eyes and we could see the impact of everyone towards the environment, and we saw cleaner skies and cleaner waters. Um, but this is not a change that happens over time. So, how do we live more sustainably? It's not a black and white type of answer. It's not easy. And it is because we are very immersed in a fast moving world where everything is convenient. We don't have time. Um, things needs to be simple, and time is extremely valuable. So the success to shift towards sustainable living lies on small changes, one at a time. So, what is important to invest in future generations? Well, it's very true that experts and many people around the world are trying hard to overcome the existing damages that the environment has suffered over time and for a very long time. But young kids will be the generation who will sustain the future on this planet. And the ones that by 2050, when net zero emissions are expected, will be driving those changes and will be the leaders who will be implementing these actions. So, education is essential for kids to become more conscious and to be more conscious about our natural resources, water, energy consumption, and care about all living forms and incorporate those sustainable practices in their lives. Otherwise, all those efforts done today will be lost tomorrow. At least that's my view. So, what's the role of parents towards sustainable living? Well, kids will follow parents' behaviors. They will follow our habits at home, and those habits will determine how children will act and react to sustainable practices. This means that we need to be a role model as parents and teachers, maybe at school, everywhere. And it's not only for kids, but to encourage um, the people who are, um, you know, among us, um, also have a lot of impact. So we cannot forget that our kids are watching all the time. And so all those behaviors will be followed. So, to start the transition towards a sustainable living, we need to believe that our actions will truly make a difference, even if they are very small actions. Educating our kids on how to include sustainable practices into their day to day activities is something that we as parents should embrace as part of um, our values and as part of the day to day activities at home. Because this is how we'll be teaching our kids to care about the environment and planet and the planet. So my suggestion is take it progressively, one step at a time, because changes don't happen overnight. Simple and small actions are more impactful, and you will feel that you actually are progressing and doing something. Otherwise, it's extremely overwhelming. So, say for example, start picking one simple thing that you can do in a consistent manner. So, for example, I don't know, take a shorter shower, or be conscious about turning the lights off when you don't need them on, and then try to make this a habit that progressively will, you know, make an impact. And you will see that you are gonna for sure do that without even thinking. So, what are the things and simple actions that you can start with at home for your kids to follow your behaviors? Um, and this is for sure a change that you can make right now. Take one simple action and make it a consistent and make it a habit. So things that you could do and probably you are doing, but make be conscious about what you're doing and the things that and also sorry the impact that you are generating when you do these things. One thing, see, for example, is preparing plastic free lunches, free lunch boxes. And this is not only for your kids, for you too. So for when you go, for example, when you go to work, just make a free plastic lunchbox. Use reusable containers and bottles. Don't use plastic straws, for example. Just try to reduce as much as you can the use of plastic. And we are just 10 days away from July. July is a good month for you to start considering a plastic free life, at least as much as you can. As part of this, try to avoid prepackaged snacks that are wrapped in a single use plastic. It's way better to eat fruits and vegetables fresh. For example, have ice cream out of a cone and not in a plastic tub. Just try to avoid all those single-use plastic bags and wraps that we know are very hard to recycle or to be recycled. Buying food in bulk is always a good practice, and then use a small reusable container for single portions. Um, food in bulk can be, for example, cereals, um, popcorns. So, for example, my daughter loves popcorns, and we buy the big bag and then we use smaller containers for the daily portions. And in this way, you reduce the use of plastics. Encourage your kids all the time to pick up rubbish from wherever they go, whether it's a park, beaches, everywhere outside home. This is a habit that will make them aware of the impact of waste towards our environment. Also, respect nature, be kind to all living forms, animals, plants, all those are part of our nature and our environment. Um, I always say that if we connect with nature, then we care about nature. If we don't have any connection, then we are not going to be affected by anything that happens to the planet. And this is a really bad um, feeling, at least in my personal view. Um, One of the things that you could do more at home is recycle. And we know that we have challenges around recycling infrastructure, not only here in Australia, but also across the world. But a lot of effort is being put into recycling facilities. So please start recycling at home. Put your recycling um, items loose in the bin, so um, the recycling stream is not contaminated with soft plastics. But please at least start recycling. And if you don't have this habit, at least start recycling one thing. Say, for example, uh, plastic bottles. Um, try to have that a habit of anytime that you use a detergent bottle or a Coke bottle or a shampoo bottle, try to recycle those. And at least you create that habit of recycling and sorting the waste at home. One of the things that I would for sure recommend is also reading The War Behind Recycling, which is my first book. Is written, um, of course, for kids to understand the processes of recycling, but also can be used by adults. Um, and and I have been told many times that um, adults have enjoyed the reading because they were learning a lot. So if you want to know how to how to recycle and how to improve your recycling practices, a good source of information is The World Behind Recycling. Um, and just to close, um, I leave you with a simple question: is what are you committed to do? Um, the answer, of course, is yours. You decide what contribution you want to make towards the future of this planet and the future of generations. Um, my recommendation is start by simple things. The change doesn't happen overnight. Sustainability itself is a very overwhelming topic. Um, and it sounds cliche, I know, but the future of the planet is in your hands. The actions that you take now will have a big impact tomorrow. And if we work together um, in fostering collaboration, the impact is even bigger. So try to do your best. And if every one of you do a small, like work on a small step and a small thing at a time, that for sure will have a bigger impact in the future. So thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for more podcasts to come or more episodes to come. Um, Stay tuned also on the latest news around the Sustainability for Kids learning platform. I invite you to check the website and have a read of the articles and the programs that we have um, carefully developed for kids and adults too. See you soon, and thank you again for listening.